Have you ever wanted to invest in real estate but didn't know where to start, how to fund the deals, how to find the deals, how to negotiate them? My name's Grant Cardone. I've been buying real estate for 30 years and have accumulated 7,700 units, have done over $2 billion worth of real estate transactions. I'm going to be doing a webinar that I want you to attend. When you sign up for this webinar, I'm going to give you my home study course, the fundamentals of multifamily, 4 ways to invest in multifamily, the mechanics of the deal, finding the deal, buying the deal, negotiating the deal, how to get the funding for the deal, how to manage the deal, and how to get 4x to 10x returns on your investment. I'll break it down and make it so simple for you, and I guarantee you'll get your first deal in 2020, and it's gonna be the steal of your lifetime. And when you sign up, I'll send you my home study course, and you can actually use this so that when we're on the webinar, we can go over it together, okay? Hey, I look forward to seeing you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Jared Glenn here on the Cardone Zone for another episode of Young Hustlers. This is the sales show. This is the show every single week where we talk about how to increase your sales, increase your revenues, increase your income. And today, right now, with everything that's happening, it's more important than ever that you have the ability to do that, create some income on demand. So got a good show today. We're going to be talking about 3 ways that you can actually create revenue today. 3 ways that you can create a deal today that maybe you weren't thinking with before. Because, look, these are things that happen that cause business owners and people to have to pivot and adjust in order to kind of make things work in a new environment. And so super excited to talk about it today. Also want to give you guys just a quick heads up. Coming up May 28th, Grant is doing a live webinar. It's absolutely free. You can register for it at grantcardone.com/REI. Grant's going to be going for about 2 hours on basically how to get started investing in real estate. I've had the opportunity to have been investing with Grant for probably, 7 years now, maybe 8. And because of the timing that I started investing with Grant, coming out of 2008, 2009, I think for 2011 is when I first invested, 2011, something like that. I was able to actually participate in a really massive upswing in deal values. And so, a lot of crazy, amazing things happen. And because the market had pulled back. So, you hear people say, oh, buy low, sell high. It sounds kind of stupid, right? But it's the truth. And what just happened now is the economy got cranked on. And we're going into the, another massive, in Grant's mind, the biggest real estate opportunity of all of our lives, unless you, of course, you were alive in 1920 or whenever, 29, whenever the Great Depression was. But that's neither here nor there. Get signed up for that thing, grantcardone.com/REI. It's going to be insane, and you're going to learn a lot for free about how to get started investing in real estate. So I hope you check that out. Today, though, Junior, we're talking about 3 ways that you can increase your revenue today, get deals today, 3 things you can do to get stuff done today. If you have questions, go ahead and feel free to call at 305-865-8668, 305-865-8668. So look, when you're talking about creation of revenue, particularly in a new moment, there's a few things that you have to be thinking with. These are sort of the prerequisites that you have to have laying underneath every decision and every action that you take right now. So if you have less customers, if you have less deal flow, if you have less leads, like all those things result in a deficit of cash flow. So like our business, we have probably 2,000 customers that pay us every month. It's our book of business. That thing, it pays us every month. Maybe you have something similar to this in your business. Then we have our new business, and new business is new deals coming in every single month. So when we look at our book of business, the money that continues to come in because of previously in place contracts, that business within that pool of 2,000 customers, there are businesses that have been affected by this in a very negative way, okay? We also have businesses that are doing okay. But within that protected group of customers, we have people that either have been affected or have not been affected, right? Now, the people that have been affected, they start Maybe they're going out of business. Maybe they've shut their doors. Maybe there's not even anybody at the office to send out a check when we send them the bill. So what does that do for us? It reduces cash flow, okay? So then you have our other bucket of new business, which is just new deals coming in, right? Now that business, those are people that are today making a decision to invest in their business, right? So that's awesome, right? That business is actually up for us. But either way, we have a thing that is created from both of those buckets called cash flow. We have cash flow from new deals and we have cash flow from existing deals. Now, the existing deals can only be affected one way or the other way. We get new deals that come in or we have old deals that fall out. And then we have everybody that kind of stays the same. So that business is an asset, but it's also a liability right now. There's people that are going through challenging times and they can't pay their bills, right? So what we have to do is we have to go, well, we need to somehow replace that cash flow because that money is no longer coming into the company. So the first thing that you need to remember when you are in times such as these, really anytime you need to create cash flow. Like these are important. Number one priority is you have to create cash flow today. So when things get tough, when you have a tough situation, you need to create cash flow today. So as much as this is a conversation about what's happening right now because of everything that's going on in the economy, it's also a conversation about what you can do when you actually need money, right? So you have to start thinking creatively about how all these things put together. What you also need to be thinking with is that your offer probably needs to change. Like what you're offering right now, like let's say for example, you build pools, and then you have a family situation that comes up, and somebody that you love has a business that's getting ready to fail, and they've got a family of 5, and they need 250 grand, and if you give up 250 grand to help save them, then you're going to be in a tight spot. But let's just say you're a good person, you give them 250 grand. What do you need to do now? Like now you need to go create revenue today. Okay? So that means that maybe your offer changes. Okay? So maybe instead of doing pools, which are long jobs where you don't get all the money up front, you've got to hire people, you've got to buy supplies, you've got to do all that stuff. Maybe you build a fountain. Just making it up, right? Maybe you do something that's smaller that you can cycle more projects through that require less of a cash front investment by you, and it's something that's higher margin, a higher margin project that you could churn out quicker. So my point in saying that, you're probably not in the pool business, but my point in saying that is you need to start thinking with how you can reposition your offer, because when your circumstances change, that doesn't mean that everything in your business can stay the same. And so right now, people's businesses have changed. They've gone from being able to sell a $10,000 program to maybe having to think with, man, I just need to acquire customers right now, and they need to go to a $97 product or a $100 product, right? So just a couple things. Number one, extremely important when you need to create revenue today. Number one, cash flow is a priority. So you need to start looking at what's going out. You need to look at what's coming in or the lack thereof, and you need to try to come up with a solution that puts money in your bank account today. That's number one. Number two, your offer or the margin that you're willing to accept may need to change. So let's say before you're at a 50 or 60% margin, you're like, man, I really need to do whatever I can to penetrate the market and get deals happening, so I'm willing to go down to 50% of that so I can get cash flow coming through. As an example, there was a thing that happened in the markets a while back where somebody goes out and buys some contracts, some futures contracts for oil. And what happens is because supply gets filled up and because of crazy other geopolitical things that are happening in other parts of the world, the price of those futures contracts starts falling. So if I have a futures contract for a bunch of oil at $25 a barrel, and then that futures price goes all the way down. Keep in mind, I've made that investment in those contracts, right? What happens is I'm in a situation where now oil prices fall. They actually go negative, right? People go through and they sell those contracts at a loss because they need to recapitalize and get that money back because they don't want to take the oil because they got no place to put it. Different example. You go out, if you have inventory in your business, let's say you spent 200 grand on inventory in your business. You got $1 million worth of inventory in your business that you've already paid for, right? So let's say that the average widget that you have in inventory, let's just say you sell one product, and that product you pay $50 to have built, and you normally sell it for $100, okay? Now, if you are in a cash flow priority situation, if you're in a I need revenue today situation, then you do like what we did. We took products in our store that we would normally sell for $100 that cost us $50, and we put them in the store for $40. And you're like, oh man, you're losing $10 a product on paper. But what you're doing is you're recapitalizing, you're getting cash back in. So when times get freaky and weird, like you got to think about like, what do I need to do to get cash flow today? Super important. Number 2, your offer must change or the margins you're willing to accept must change. And then number 3, you need to focus on acquisition of customers. So like if you have a product lineup and hopefully you are prescribing to some of these things that we talk about here where we talk about having multiple pieces of inventory and different offers that you can sell people. What you need to start thinking with, if maybe your entry product is $3,000 and then from $3,000 you take them to $10,000, then from $10,000 to $50,000 is an example. Or from $100 to $500, from $500 to $2,500, whatever the case may be. Acquiring customers needs to become a priority because you have to assume that the entry point needs to be lower so that you can get more people in because they have trouble making decisions. Like, for example, with what's happening right now, people are getting tight with money. So that, like, it's going to be harder for them to make a decision. So the value in what they're spending their money on needs to go up. The next thing that you need to do is now you need to figure out how you further monetize that customer. You need to spend more time on that right now because if you're acquiring a customer for a lower value, now you need to think, well, what's the process to get them from a $50 sale to a $500 sale when normally they used to come in at $250 or $500. So I'm telling you like all these things to try to get you to think. Maybe these don't apply to your specific situation, but I'm trying to get you to think way more creatively about what you do right now because what tends to happen is people get locked in and blocked into the thing that they do and they start feeling trapped and the thing that they had that worked 4 months ago isn't working anymore and they can't think outside of that box. That's why a lot of people went from their core business to selling freaking masks and hand sanitizer because they couldn't figure out within their little box of their business how to shift or how to change, or maybe they couldn't, who knows? But they couldn't figure out how to shift and make that work. We're having to do a lot of shifting and a lot of moving right now. And so you need to know, like right now, being nimble is super important for you. And being willing to move and try things differently and create new products, that is just the environment that we're in right now because we all, I think they said the number's 40 million, 35 million people are unemployed right now. Like that is a shift, man. People need to start thinking differently. I mean, is it 35 million people unemployed? Is that the number? 35? What is it exactly? Do you know? I think they just released a new number today that filed for unemployment. But it's a big number. I mean, there's 300 million people in the U.S. If 250 or so are workable, or 200 are workable.
38.6.
38.6, almost 40 million people. That's like almost this 20% of the population. It's ridiculous, right? So that requires everybody has to start shifting and thinking differently about what's happening. Now, hopefully we get through this really quick, but the chances are for a lot of small businesses that the last 2 months have been damaging to their business that are gonna, it's gonna take a little bit to get out of that hole. And so as you're getting out of that hole and you gotta create revenue today, you need to start thinking with, dude, what can I do to get money today? And so I'm gonna give you 3 things you can do right now. Again, number 1, if you deal with customers where they are on contracts, this is something that we're doing right now. You deal with customers where they're on contracts. Remember, not everybody is in a tight spot right now. Not everybody. There's a big percentage, bigger than ever, a percentage of people that are in a tight spot, but there's a lot of people that aren't. There's a lot of people that business is going well or it hasn't been impacted negatively or, they've got a bunch of money stacked away and packed away. Granted, this in the real estate business as well. You offer a discount for a cash out of a contract. So let's say we have a training contract. You have $24,000 remaining on the contract, and you've got 24 months left on your agreement. One option is you could go, I'll take $14,000 cash right now and buy you out of your contract. So they're getting a $10,000 discount in order to come up front with the cash. Is that a lower margin a deal for you now? Yep. But what does it do? It creates cash flow today. So if you have contracts and people are paying you every month, you need to start thinking with, how do I pull that contract value forward? We've even offered programs where if you've got, let's just say, I'm using $1,000 because it's a round number. You've got 20 months left on a $1,000 contract. We'll say, pay us $16,000 now, and we'll give you an extra 10 months on the back end of your agreement, so you have 30 months of total contract for $16,000. So we're getting creative with how we're trying to generate cash flow today, and that's what you need to be doing as well. Number two, you can also offer a contract option. So, and think about contracts also, like maybe you do massages, or maybe you do, you cut hair, or maybe you're a tattoo artist, or maybe you do pest control, or maybe you do home repair, or you're a handyman or something. Like think about ways that you can offer people the ability to prepay for your services at a big discount. So let's say you normally charge $100 an hour for tattoo. Maybe you say, hey, look, if you pre-book 8 hours of tattooing, I'll do it for $450 to create cash flow today. Now, this may create a problem in the future. This is what we were talking about with our deal. You know, we take less value on a contract, or we cash a contract out up front. Now we don't have that cash flow next month, but we're solving problems today. Okay, knowing that we're going to be able to continue to produce. So do we have some people on the phone? Okay, hang on one sec. So if people have recurring purchases from you, if you have the ability to sell something over and over and over again, like a few of the examples I just mentioned, dude, think about repackaging that in a way where you can get people to pay money up front. You know, consulting fee. I mean, like just go through. Like maybe you have an agency. You do social media marketing. And normally you charge, you know, for creating social digital assets. Maybe your normal rate is $100 per piece of creative. Maybe you say, hey, prepay for 10, and I'll do it for $550 each. Start thinking with how you can package things. Maybe you do offer contract terms where you say, hey, you know, my product's typically a one pay as you need, but if you sign an agreement, we can go $800 a month for the next 12 months rather than $1,500 every time you need to purchase them. Terminex does this. Like I just had some bugs sprayed at my house. Terminex goes, we can do the one-time spray for $159, or we can come out every quarter and spray automatically for $89 a visit. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely need to have mosquitoes sprayed for because it's Florida and it's hot and nasty here. Like, I'm definitely gonna need that. So I did that. I wouldn't have done that if they wouldn't have had the option. Now instead of a $159 customer, I become a $360 customer. Make sense? Let's go to some callers. Who we got?
We got Nick from New York.
Nick, what's going on, man?
Hey man, how are you?
Good. How you doing, man? How you doing, bro?
Surviving, right?
That's right.
Got a question.
Yep.
So I have a maintenance business. We do like a lot of home services, mainly a lot of landscaping, lawn care, you know, that kind of stuff. And I've done for years. I've done a grant center. I took my money and invested in the business, right? Buy equipment, advertising, pushing everything, right? So recently, I get a lot of inquiries for different stuff we don't do, and I usually sub it out. I refer people. What do you think about putting money into taking on a different types of business within my business? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%.
So in these times, I get nervous. You know what I'm saying? Should I keep putting those funds into my business, keep growing, buying, advertising, or should I cut back? Be happy. We're doing good. We're doing all right. So should I take some of that money and kind of roll like more, take on different services? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would look at the barriers to entry. I'd look at how much money you would have to invest to either tool up or to hire and train people to do a specific specialized job. Let's just say it's concrete cutting. I don't know if that's the deal, but like let's just say you got people that are like, hey, you know, if you could come do this, cut this concrete or lay this thing or do this other cosmetic thing, whatever. Man, you know, I'd do that today. If you're getting a lot of those requests, right now you should definitely do it. Particularly like what you have to think about now is there are people in your space, Nick, that aren't doing well. There are people in your space that are going out of business. There are opportunities for you in a new moment of time today to look at your business because you're in a good spot, it sounds like. You still got business, you still got cash flow, you still got money in reserves, you're investing in your business, you're doing a lot of the right things. You have an opportunity right now to grab market share. And in times like this is when, like, if you look at like the biggest companies in the world, this is a when they have their big swings. Like Grant is going to buy more real estate in the next 3. He was thinking I'll double my portfolio. I'll go from 8,000 units to 10,000 units in the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Dude, now he's thinking, man, I could get another 10,000 units in the next 3. Like this massive swings can happen right now if you lean in. And if you have opportunities for people to come in and do deals with, and I'm not talking about like a one-off request here and there, but like if 3 or 4 or 5 people are asking you for this, there's definitely a market for it. And as long as it's not too disconnected from what you're doing, I would definitely do it.
No, it's all pretty much relative. You know what I mean? It's nothing like crazy out of the industry that I am doing. It's just stuff we typically don't do. So I figured, man, what the hell? If I'm referring it out, why not? If I can invest a little bit of money, I should get that money, right?
Yeah. Like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Like, and this is less of a thing that's happening today right now and more something that's happened over the last couple months. But now it's more important than ever. So we've been having more and more of our clients go, hey, can you send a trainer out to our business and have them spend 2 or 3 or 4 days with my team training them? And for the longest time, we didn't have trainers to send out. And these are people that want this, and they still want it, and they're still willing to pay for it. So we start hiring trainers. And now we can say yes to deals like that. Now, it's not completely disconnected from our business. We had to make the investment in time to create the curriculum and the outlines and the programs and like work through some of the groundwork that goes into it. But now we have an extra product that we can sell that people are paying for. Like we just inked a massive deal last week because we have trainers that can go on site. So I'd say lean into it, bro. Appreciate the call. Who we got next?
We got Brad from St. Petersburg.
Brad from St. Pete?
Yeah, Jared, how you doing, man?
What's going on, bro? How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, brother. Just working hard, having fun, all the good stuff.
Love it, man. What's your question?
So my question for you, man, so I'm in the title insurance industry, man. I work for a title company here in Florida. And, I wanted to ask you, what would you do to 10X the business? Like, I know that you guys are familiar with title insurance and in real estate. What would you recommend? Because I want to do big deals. Like, I want to help customers out like Grant, you and Grant.
Yeah.
So what would you do to 10X in that business?
Well, the first thing is, this is, so a guy calls Grant last week or something, and he works for a big broker here in the area. And he calls Grant and is trying to get a listing for his house. And Grant's like, what have you done? When's the last time you sold something? How big was the deal? How much volume did you sell last year? Like, he's moving right into, it was a great example. He's moving right into, dude, are you worth my time or not? And then the kid kept going back to, oh, well, my office or my broker and Grant's like, no. You got into this call. Now you're going to complete this call. So I would say that, the one approach is you can always swing for the fences and always go try to take down the whale. Me personally, like the way I came up wasn't coming in and going, I'm going to go do a deal with General Motors Like I didn't know anything. I didn't know the problems. I didn't know the job. Like there was so much stuff that was foreign to me. So I started knocking little deals out, a bunch of them, and getting really good, and like understanding their problems. And so like my answer to you is, dude, play a long game. Nobody goes from high school baseball to the majors without like doing a lot of stuff in between. So I would just tell you, dude, if you want to do big deals, get so freaking good at what you do and build a brand and become the guy in St. Pete or your market or your area or the state or whatever. Like become omnipresent in the marketplace. Go to the events. Build a social audience and following. Be the person in the marketplace that everybody goes, God damn, dude, Brad's everywhere. He's providing us with service and value. Everywhere I turn, this kid pops up. Like you got to think with like, if you want to get the big deals, you got to get somebody's attention. And the best way to get a guy like Grant's attention, whether you're an employee here or whether you're somebody that wants to do a deal with him, is performance. Perform.
Exactly.
Like do the job and be freaking great at it.
That's such great advice, man, because, you know, that's really what I'm doing right now, because nobody else is really the title insurance guy. You know, I've not really seen that many people market themselves as that. I'm the, you know, I have a podcast, so I talk about it on my podcast sometimes. You know, title insurance is kind of boring. So I inspire people, man, and I'm just trying to get attention, and everybody knows who I am. So I'm really trying to inspire people, help people get on stages, you know?
Yeah.
And just be the best at what I'm doing, man. So that's great advice, Jared. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, you got it, man. Just focus on, dude, your business is about relationships and network. So you gotta invest a lot in that. And again, like I said, just become the guy that doesn't go away, that everybody sees everywhere all the time. And before you know it, people are going to start going, Brad, the title guy from St. Pete. And then they're going to start sending you deals, or at least giving you a shot. So hope that helped. Last caller. Who we got?
Eric from Orlando.
Eric from Orlando.
Hey, Jared, how you doing?
What's going on, bro?
Good to hear, man. I love your show. So my question
Thank you.
I have a marketing agency, and right now, one of my thoughts or strategies that I'm doing, that I'm seeing as a trend, is that a lot of people that never had a website want a website. And so, but obviously for me, where I make the money, at least long term, is on the social media side. They have a monthly payment going. In that case, what I'm struggling to find out or figure out is how to, because I'm willing to develop the website for them at a lower price in order to jump them or transition them into my social media. And that's
so dude, look, here's what I'd say. Again, number one, if every customer that you talk to is asking for this and it's something that you can get done easily, then yes, do it for them. Like, you need to change your offer right now, which is what I said at the beginning of the show. Be willing to change your offer right now. Be willing to add new things that the customers are willing to pay for, and be willing to look at the margins that you accept. So then you go, okay, hey, look, yeah, I can build that website for you, and I can build it cheaper than anybody else. Build the website, get it done. You say, what you really need, though, is you need a landing page that will convert people to an offer. Okay? And when you build that, you're going to need traffic. And that traffic's going to come from paid ads on Facebook, or it's going to come from your email list, or it's going to come from organic social media. I could do all of them for you. But the website alone will not be will be worthless without traffic, and without brand, and without awareness, and without a way to get people to that website. So it's just a front door, dude. Always say yes. Find a way to get in. This isn't disconnected from your product. If somebody said, hey, rather than creating a website, if somebody just said, like, maybe you just do an itzel itzig, maybe you just switch it all up on them, and you're like, hey, like, instead of a website, they're asking for a paint, you to come in and paint a wall. Like, that's disconnected. You're connected, dude. And websites are quick and painless to make. But what people really want, like, always agree with people, like, get in the door. But what people really want is they want a website for something. And if they want, what do they want for their website? Do they want to just have something that they can say, hey, look at my website? Or do they want a website because they want phone calls? Or do they want a website because they want leads? Or do they want a website because they want to sell a product? Like, why do they want a website?
What I'm finding, I'm sorry for interrupting. What I'm finding a lot is that some of them just don't know why they want a website. They just feel like they have to give the impression that they need a website. So then I have to always educate them on what's the next part, you know? That's kind of like the training course that I have to kind of take them into.
Yeah. So hey, can you, hey Eric, I was referred to you. I want to know if you can build me a website. You're like, yeah, man, I could totally build you a website. Tell me what you're trying to accomplish. What product do you sell right now? Have you ever had a website before? No? How come you're considering it now? Like, do some fact finding, do some digging. And then they're like, oh, I've got this new product that I created. It's $49 and I want to get a website so I can sell it. Hey, well, I could totally build you a website, but you know what works better than a website is a landing page. A landing page where the only thing that they can do is buy a single product there. You narrow the focus of a person from a website with navigation and features and phone numbers and about me and contacts and testimonials and case studies and all this other stuff to, hey, you're going to sell this one product right here. Now, once you get that one page, your conversions are going to go through the roof. But once you get that one page, the next thing that you're going to need is traffic. Have you ever ran traffic to a website before? Have you ever bought any ads on Facebook? Do you have any social media accounts right now? You know, when I come in, I do a fully comprehensive plan for you to build a brand online, generate traffic to a landing page to convert sales of a product. And then if you'd like, in addition to all that, I can build you a website too. What I need is 15 minutes in your office to come show you what I can do because I'm confident I can get you the result that you're looking for. Can you make time for me this afternoon, or is tomorrow morning better?
Awesome. Love it, man. Thank you so much.
All right, man. You got it. All right, check it out. So look, discount for contract buyout, discount for prepay of services. You know, hey, I've got a 24-month contract. Pay for 12, and I'll wipe the rest of the contract out and give you the remaining term. Somebody's getting ready to sign up for a deal. Hey, sign a 12-month contract, pay in full, and I'll do it for $8,000 is another angle you can take at it. Providing a recurring purchase option. So guy that cuts my hair, instead of $50, he says, hey, I'll do it 5 times for $200 rather than $250. You get a free haircut. Get creative with how you're repackaging. It'll make all the difference in the world. Remember, cash flow is a priority right now. You have to be willing to change your offer or be willing to accept different margins than you had before. And then acquisition of customers is priority right now. You need to get people into your ecosystem at whatever price so that you can start selling them other things. So look, that's how you can create some more revenue today. If you want to learn more about offers, packaging, some of those sales scripting, like that little brief off-the-cuff sales call that I ran for Eric, who has the agency in Orlando. Check, check, check. Good? Okay, sorry. My mic went down. So 4 boot camp dates coming up: July, August, September, October. July is sold out, over 700 attendees for that one. We added August and September. You can go to grantcardone.com/bootcamp special. It's a $6,500 ticket. If you go to grantcardone.com/bootcamp special, you can get a discount price of $1,000. It's a steal. It's a 3-day event here in Miami. 3 days. Our team takes you through sales, marketing, business, finance. It's an unbelievable experience. One of my favorite events that we do all year, without a doubt, because of the amount of education. People do deals at that event before they leave. It's insane. We have exercises that we put people through that actually create deals and income and revenue before they even leave. So definitely get there, check that out. If you're looking at how to invest right now, if you want to get in the freaking jet stream of the biggest real estate opportunity of your lifetime, then go to grantcardone.com/REI and register for our free real estate training event live at the end of this month, May 28th. grantcardone.com/REI. We got lots of ways we can help you. Hope that you elect to take advantage of it, because now you need to start changing what you're doing right now. You need to do more, not less. You need to keep your you need to continue to refocus on your targets, never lower targets. Remind yourself of your goals. Keep your motivation, your attitude, your spirits up. Be around people that'll help you do that, not people that will bring you down. It could even be your parents. You know, your parents, your little worrisome mom or dad that keeps reminding you about all this stuff that goes on. Keep focused. Stay positive. Keep your mind in the game. This is a marathon. It ain't a sprint. This is a moment in time. And if you're skilled up, you will get through this and come out on the other end better than you went into it. Thanks for being here. Remember, the only people who condemn the hustle are the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves. We'll see you next week.
Have you ever wanted to invest in real estate but didn't know where to start, how to fund the deals, how to find the deals, how to negotiate them? My name's Grant Cardone. I've been buying real estate for 30 years and have accumulated 7,700 units, have done over $2 billion worth of real estate transactions. I'm going to be doing a webinar that I want you to attend. When you sign up for this webinar, I'm going to give you my home study course, the fundamentals of multifamily, 4 ways to invest in multifamily, the mechanics of the deal, finding the deal, buying the deal, negotiating the deal, how to get the funding for the deal, how to manage the deal, and how to get 4x to 10x returns on your investment. I'll break it down and make it so simple for you, and I guarantee you'll get your first deal in 2020, and it's going to be the steal of your lifetime. And when you sign up, I'll send you my home study course, and you can actually use this so that when we're on the webinar, we can go over it together, okay? Hey, I look forward to seeing you.